The Bandit Camp is one of the 2 places in Rust where there is NPC enforced peace, but what can you buy at the shops and what else can you find here? Welcome to the Rust Monument Guide, where today I'll be telling you everything you need to know about the Bandit Camp. The Bandit Camp is a radiation-free monument, meaning that you don't need any clothing to come here. But you shouldn't come here looking for loot, as the only thing you can find here are barrels and small food crates. Here you can see the Bandit Camp from above. The 2 things I'm going to be highlighting right now are the casino and the airwolf compound. The location of services here will be shown later on in the video. The Bandit Camp, just like the outpost, is an NPC protected safe zone, so let me show you how the safe zone works. Essentially, what a safe zone does is prevent others from killing you, and even if you somehow die, it stops them from taking your loot. It does this by authorizing lethal force on players who do actions that are considered as hostile, and by making players inside its area immune to damage from other players. Keep in mind, however, that while you can't be damaged by others, you can still die from fall damage, starvation, or from the weather being too cold. But even if you somehow die inside the Bandit Camp, you shouldn't worry, as only you can take your own loot. Speaking of dying here, if you were curious, the water isn't deep enough anywhere to drown in. So now I'll show you what you can and can't do inside its area and how long of a time you'll be marked as hostile for. When entering the Bandit Camp, if you have an item in your hands that is not allowed and you don't put it away before the 5-second timer runs out, you'll be marked as hostile for 30 seconds. Allowed items include everything shown on screen now, the only weird item being the RF transmitter, as it is the only item that will get you marked as hostile after 5 seconds, but you can still pull it out inside the Bandit Camp's area. While inside the area of the Bandit Camp, you physically cannot pull out your gun as the game stops you from doing so. Regardless of where you are on the island, if you shoot with a gun, you will be marked as hostile for 60 seconds. If you deal damage to a player who is outside the Bandit Camp, you'll be marked as hostile for 60 seconds as well. And if you try to deal damage to a player who is inside the Bandit Camp, you'll be marked as hostile for 30 minutes. And you will also be marked as hostile for 30 minutes if you attack a guard. Also keep in mind that being marked as hostile is shared between the outpost and the Bandit Camp. The Bandit Camp has a few shops where you can buy and sell things for scrap. It has 7 shops in total, so I'll go through them one by one, telling you what they're selling in general, and if you're interested in the prices, you can pause the video at the shop you want to check out. First, we have the food market, which mostly sells food and 40mm shotgun shells. Next, we have building supplies, where you can buy items for your base and roadside gloves. Next, we have scrap for sale, where you can sell resources and a few other items for some scrap. Up next, we have the black market, where you can buy guns and items related to combat. Next, we have the produce exchange, where you can sell items related to farming for some scrap, and the final shop outside the airwolf compound is the one called farming, where you can buy items for growing crops. Speaking of the airwolf compound, inside it you can do 2 things. Buy things at the shop called vehicle parts, where, as the name implies, you can buy items related to cars, and you can also buy helicopters. All you need to do to buy a helicopter is walk up to this NPC right here, choose what kind of helicopter you would like, confirm your choice, and fly away with your new helicopter. A minicopter here costs 750 scrap, and a scrap transport helicopter costs 1250 scrap. When shopping for helicopters, you shouldn't worry about fuel, as both of the helicopters spawn with 100 low-grade fuel inside them. And you also shouldn't worry about people boarding your helicopter, as only the person who purchased them can get inside at the helipad. This includes the rear of the scrap transport helicopter and the passenger seat of the minicopter. And now let's talk about the main thing people want to do here, which is go to the casino and wager their scrap. The payouts here are quite simple. If you win, you get your original scrap back plus your original scrap times the number you wagered on. So hitting 1 will pay out 2 times, hitting 3 will pay out 4 times, and so on. Please keep in mind though that no matter how good you think you are at gambling, the house always wins, and as such I'd advise you to stay away from gambling if you actually need scrap. But if you really want to try winning, you can bet on either 1, 3, 5, or 10, as their expected value per game is the highest at 0.96 scrap per scrap invested on average, but as you can see, you will still lose scrap over time. Finally, let's cover the services here at the Bandit Camp. It is one of the best monuments in terms of services, as it has a recycler, a repair bench, a research table, a workbench, and even a metal shop front for trading securely with other players. On screen right now you can see the locations of all of these services. You can also drive into here with an armored cockpit on a car and survive indefinitely, as the guards can't figure out how to shoot you. And you can also stand in this corner while your timer runs out. I hope this guide helped you, and if it did, consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you really enjoy my content, you can join my Discord server and chat with me, or you can consider becoming one of my patrons on patreon.com/TheMeemishGamer, or you can click the join button next to the subscribe button to become a channel member. I would like to thank Ballard, Nickel, and Dimitri for being my patrons, and thank you guys so much for 6,400 subscribers.